Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. It's finally time to talk about my new laptop. I purchased this laptop as a development machine for my business. My business is transitioning from just doing YouTube to also doing software because I own a piece of software that has current clients, and I'm also doing contracting work on software development. So I needed to have a business machine for that. I purchased, this is the ThinkPad, or no, this is the Lenovo Ideapad, Jesus. This is the Lenovo Ideapad 5 Pro 14ARH7. I picked this particular laptop for a few reasons. Number one, I really like the Lenovo brand. When I was a technician for K-12 schools, a lot of our schools had switched over to Lenovo laptops to replace Chromebooks and that sort of stuff. And I really liked the build quality of them. I really liked handling them. They seemed like really great machines. I also had an older ThinkPad. This is an Ideapad. I had a ThinkPad and that used to run Linux back in the day when I was not a Windows guy. And it was great. So I liked the brand. The price was right. I paid just under $800 for this. And that was great because I was looking on places like Newegg and Amazon. And for a comparable laptop, I'll tell you about the specs here in a second, they were all $1,200 or more. I got this for $800. And I'm really happy about that. The other reason I wanted it is it's a 14-inch laptop. I really like smaller form factor laptops, even with my big-ass giant hands. This is a full-size keyboard, so it doesn't feel tiny. But I really like the portability, the thinness, the weight of a 14-inch. I don't really want anything bigger than that. And I don't need anything like a super powerful gaming laptop to do a little bit of coding. The other thing is, this has the AMD Ryzen 5 6685HS, which is their high-speed, top-of-the-line Ryzen 5 in early 2022. There's a new Ryzen out or coming out soon, Ryzen 5. So this is a 3.3 gigahertz processor, bursts to like 4.1 or something like that. It's fast. That was important to me because I do a decent amount of video rendering. Video rendering uses will suck this machine up, but my videos are now rendering at least a third of the speed, 3 times as fast, I guess, as my old setup. I also do a good amount of graphic design work, and sometimes I work on things that can have thousands of nodes in an SVG, and that can just be really slow on some machines. Not having an issue with this at all. It's got 16 gigs internal RAM. It is soldered, which kind of sucks, but whatever. It's not expandable, but that's fine. Like, this is not a keep forever and keep updating machine. This is I don't want to say it's disposable, but this is use it for a few years and then buy a replacement, right? It has a 1 terabyte internal SSD. Great. It's got USB ports and full-size SD card slot, so not a problem. I also have I have external storage. I keep all my video content in external, like, 8 terabyte drives. So far, it has Windows 11. I really like this machine. I've had a really good time using it. I don't mind Windows 11 at all. I've seen a lot of the complaints about it, and I don't personally have any of those complaints. Part of that reasoning is I came from Linux in the late 90s to early 2010s. I was straight Linux, and somewhere in the mid 10s when Windows 7 really became a thing, I switched to Windows 7 and I've been on Windows since. But I had a Mac before this. So what I'm trying to get at is when Windows introduced the search key, hit Windows and type, That's how I do everything. I'm not, people complained about the way the start menu, the way apps are. I've never used the start menu since Windows 7. I just hit the Windows key, type a couple characters, hit enter. So I have no issues with that. I'm using the tools the way that they were intended to be used, and I have no problems. I did have some intermittent shutdowns on this machine. I did a bit of Googling, tried to figure out why. It's fully updated. I updated the BIOS, I don't know how you say it, and it was still happening. I found a thread a few weeks back about memory overruns with Chrome, and the suggestion was to do something with Windows's VRAM settings and to disable hardware acceleration on Chrome. I disabled hardware acceleration on Chrome, and that basically took care of it. And then I couldn't find that thread again to figure out what the other section was, because they said something about modifying the way Windows does virtual memory. So the Windows or the Chrome hardware acceleration seemed to fix it mostly, but then it started happening again. And what I discovered was that the desktop Discord app is built on Chromium. So I went into Discord and disabled hardware acceleration, and it hasn't crashed since. So there's some sort of memory issue between Windows 11 and Chrome right now that's causing problems. Maybe someday they'll fix it, and I'll be able to turn hardware acceleration back on. I honestly don't know that I've noticed any difference with hardware acceleration turned off. I don't know what that does. It doesn't seem to have any effect on my browsing. It just works. Been really happy with it. It's an all aluminum case, which I really enjoy. My current work laptop is plastic, and it I don't know. There's something nice about setting your hand on a cold aluminum shell. I really like this keyboard. This keyboard reminds me a lot more of a MacBook keyboard than the Dell that I have for work. The Dell that I have is clunky. It just doesn't feel good. This has real short keystrokes, real nice, easy, time typing. Really enjoy that. And the one thing that I would say is bad on this machine, that everybody says is bad on this machine, is the webcam. It's like a 720p webcam. It's pretty bad. But I don't use it. I'm not doing video conferencing and stuff. So I don't really care. And if I was going to do video conferencing, I would be using this, and I would have a really nice camera setup. So not interested, or not worried about that. Oh, so for development work, I normally work on PHP/Laravel apps. So I installed Homestead on here. Vagrant is a think of it like a container, but it's just running in I don't remember what VM software I'm using. Doesn't matter. Works great. No problems. But the contracting work that I'm doing is Vue, and there is an issue with Vagrant not with the hot loading on Vue not working with Vagrant, because Vagrant doesn't track. It doesn't watch file saves, so it doesn't really work. So I had to install the work that I'm doing on contract on WSL. Love it. Absolutely love WSL. I've got Ubuntu installed on here. I can use it seamlessly front and back. It's kind of like using Parallels on a Mac. It just works. So I basically have an Ubuntu shell running on my machine at all times. VS Code is running on my laptop, running on my Windows install, but it's connected to WSL, and all of my repositories are on WSL. Works seamlessly. I had very little extra to do to set that all up. It just kind of works, and that I appreciate. Lastly, I used to use Chocolatey as a package manager, a Windows package manager, but Windows introduced their own package manager, I believe last year, called WinGet. And it actually works really well. It's not really a package manager. It's just an installer and uninstaller wrapper. It doesn't really do well with dependencies and stuff. But I think that's probably coming. But I did not install Chocolate on here. I installed all of my software using WinGet, and that works well too. I enjoyed that. So yeah, I think this is a great little laptop. For the price, I'm super super happy. It's performing wonderfully. I guess my other complaint, the one thing that I don't like, is its touchscreen, and I wish it wasn't. I don't have a use for a touchscreen on a laptop, and I'm often working in contrast. You know, like I've got Windows, and so I'll need to move the monitor, and I'll accidentally touch the screen. That's a tiny thing, but I think I can turn that off. I just haven't looked into how to turn it off yet. I don't want to touch the screen. I have no need for that. So there you go. Wonderful little machine. It does run the fan quite a bit. If I have WSL running with the hot swap view server up, it'll ramp up the fan pretty loudly. But I really only keep that running when I need it. That's it. I think that's really truthfully it. I don't really have much else to say. Very happy with it. Very glad I bought it. There you go. Lenovo Ideapad 5 Pro. Good little machine. Got any questions? Put them in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again Monday. Today's word you should know to sound smart is nuance. It is a noun meaning a subtle difference in meaning, expression, or tone. Venice in winter is rich with the bittersweet nuance and somber beauty of the once was. Terry Weeks, an American travel writer. Nuance, N-U-A-N-C-E. That's a good word. I really enjoy using nuance, especially when I'm talking about somebody who doesn't understand nuance.